The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Thursday, December 12, 2019. Reveal Thomas putting yet another plan into action and Shauna going for broke. These two know what they want and they aren't letting anything getting in their way. Make sure to tune in so you don't miss a second of the drama. Getting Hope, Anakin OL. Back to the office is harder than Thomas. Matthew Atkinson thoughtfully ups the ante and makes a suggestion she can't ignore. Instead of just working on her line, what about pitting it against Steffi's? Jacqueline McInneswood, New Creations. She and Steffi have faced off before, so why not do it again? It'll be Ian Hope against Steffi and Sally. Courtney Hope, in a showdown like no other. Will this be enough to get Hope's motor going? She loves to design and she loves putting her fashions on the runway. And boy, does she love beating Steffi. But, is the time right? She adores being home with Beth and making up for lost time, so going back to work is a huge decision. Plus, there's no way Liam, Scott Clifton, will want her working with Thomas. Do you want me? Over at the mansion. Shauna, Denise Richards. Comforts Ridge, Thorsten K. After this latest trip to Seabrook, Catherine Kelly Lang. His marriage is in shambles and his life feels like it's falling apart. Of course, she's right there to make sure he knows he has another option, her. Oh yes, she'll once again offer herself up on a silver platter as his consolation prize. Will he take her up on the offer? Shauna is hot, fun, and ready for anything but his Ridge. Losing his soulmate again is a tough hit and he needs time to heal. Will he take a step back, or will history repeat itself and he'll jump right onto the next affair without a second thought? Sally Spectre has always been her own woman. But these days, she's working at Forrester. Does that really mess with the independent gal we've come to know and love on The Bold and the Beautiful? Maybe she's due for a change. The rivalry between Forrester Creations and Spectre Fashions. And the journey from rivals to pals Sally, Darlene Conley, and Stephanie, Susan Flannery, was instrumental in BB's success. The show struck gold with Courtney Hope, cast as Sally's grandniece and namesake. But she's become a Forrester employee in recent times. Should she strike out on her own again? Saw. We've gotta save the company. Over 68% of responders to this poll say yes. Sally should start up Spectre again. Soaps are all about haves and have-nots. The Forresters are the haves and Sally is a have-not. Think of the dramatic possibilities if Sally were to revive her company. It'd put her into professional conflict with Expo Thomas, Matthew Atkinson, and others at Forrester. How would Wyatt, Darren Brooks, be affected by this, since he works for the publishing house that covers the design biz with the publication Island Fashion? Where would Sally get the funds to start over? The avenues for story are endless. Reviving Spectre would likely mean viewers would get to see the returns of Saul, Alex Wise, Darlia, Daniel Bermasillo, and Shirley, Patricia Darbo. The rest of The Bold and the Beautiful fans polled. Almost 31% believe that Sally shouldn't start up Spectre once more. Why go through all that hassle when she has a good deal at Forrester? Her namesake spent the last part of her life working at Forrester, so it's appropriate that Sally be there, too. Forrester Creations can back Sally with all the resources so that she can do what she does best, design. Who knows? After Sally makes more of a name for herself as a designer, she could strike out on her own. Leaving Forrester after establishing herself there will lead to a greater impact. Ridge may not fully comprehend the extent to which Thomas has torpedoed his marriage on The Bold and the Beautiful. But if he did, would it matter? It's become quite clear to Ridge over the past few months that Flaw doesn't even begin to describe his son. Thomas is a liar, a cheat, an emotionally abusive father, and possibly even a murderer. Yet Ridge still doesn't believe he's a hopeless case. In a way, Ridge probably thinks he deserves a kid who's not perfect, said his portrayer, Thorsten Kaye, who isn't sure there could ever be a last straw where Thomas is concerned. That's an interesting question, and I don't know the answer. You can't escape your kid at the end of the day, and Ridge doesn't want to. That love has to be unconditional. It's what you sign up for as a parent. The compassion Ridge feels for his son has been at the crux of his conflict with wife Brooke. And Kaye believes his alter ego feels he still has a debt that he owes to his children. That makes him kind of blind to some of the stuff that's going on right in front of him, the actor acknowledged. In any case, Ridge's problem is a good one for Kaye in that it's given him lots of interesting new material to play, both with Ridge's family members and his new admirer, Shauna. Having spent much of the previous year on the periphery of other people's tales, Kaye is glad to be in the thick of things again. Sometimes it feels like you don't do as much anymore. But it turns out that our boss, Mr. Brad Bell, always finds a place for everybody. He said of the show's head writer and executive producer, "So I'm glad it's my turn." What does Don Diamond, Bill, appreciate most in a co-star? Someone who's down to earth with a sense of humor. And he's thankful that description applies to all the women he's been fortunate enough to work opposite on The Bold and the Beautiful. Jackie McInnes Wood, Stuffy, is a brilliant example of that. He said to Soaps in Depth, "She's beautiful and talented, so she could very easily fall into that trap. And yet she doesn't ever take herself too seriously." He added that the same holds true for Heather Tom, Katie, and Catherine Kelly Lang, Brooke. Each one of them has a really great sense of humor and takes the work very seriously without taking themselves too seriously. There are more similarities between all three of them in that way than differences, I think. Liam's honesty with his wife about the kiss led to the one-night stand between Bill and Stuffy. Hope arrived in town while Liam was living in a hotel, estranged from Stuffy. Hope and Sally had a conversation about Liam, but Sally fading out as a contender for Liam's affections. It's understandable that Wyatt would not want to compete with his brother for another woman. Every woman they competed for eventually bailed on Wyatt because of their feelings for Liam. However, Sally never slept with Liam or had a romantic relationship with him, which makes Wyatt's insistence that Sally has subconscious feelings for Liam seem contrived. What's more likely is that Wyatt has cold feet about his engagement due to his feelings for his childhood sweetheart, Flo. I'd warn Wyatt to be careful about trying to get back together with his childhood sweetheart, as Gwen told Shauna this week. Marrying one's childhood sweetheart is disastrous. Yeah, Gwen said that, and judging from Wyatt and Flo's last attempt, Gwen might be right. Here is what some of you on our Soap Central message board think about Wyatt and Sally's name faux pas this week. I didn't think Sally committed some horrible act, and I in no way think she has Liam on her brain. She wants to be with Wyatt, but obviously, he is missing Flo. Why, I have no idea. But it looks like we'll be watching more of her one-note acting again soon. Liam was giving him grief about not buying a ring yet, but I don't see it happening at all. TNC.